Hi everyone, my name is Aileen Wu and I am an Olympic weightlifting coach. This is my reaction to the 2020 Rogue Invitational Women's Clean and Jerk event. Here we go. Tia-Clair Toomey, 250, feet under the bar, hands on bar. Here we go. Pulling under, looks for a spot. It doesn't really jolt her, but it's a little forward of her past the knees. Great job with the shrug pull like she always does. Stands up with the clean. Here we go for the jerk. Great drive. Oh, it's a beautiful drive. Weight on the heels mid-foot, drive straight up, pushes her body down, receives the barbell with arms locked out. Beautiful jerk. Let's watch it slow. Feet under the bar, hands on bar. Here we go. Measuring her hands, great move, love that move. Getting set, mentally figuring out what she's going to do. From here, rocks under, looks straight ahead, doesn't get tight, and jolts a little bit in terms of when she picks up the barbell, but she does a great job of maintaining the weight on her foot. It doesn't pull her forward. You don't see a slack in the back. Big chest tight back, the lats are tight. Here we are at above the knee. You see a little bit of the separation, but the knees don't slack off too much, which I really appreciate. They're not straight, they're slightly bent so they keep that tension, but it is slightly in front of her. And again, you see the hips come forward just a little bit as opposed to the barbell coming back, but she does a great job of the shrug, high pull, meets the barbell where it's at, rides the bar down and the bar up again. Catches the bounce rocks her just a little bit, so when she stands up with it, you see the butt come up, the knees come in a little bit, and she's struggling to stay under that barbell because that bounce rocked her a little bit. She wasn't super strong, stable coming out of it. We don't love the knees coming in, but when we're talking maximal weights, especially in a competition like this, it happens. When you're training at your local box, please don't do that. Here we go for the jerk. Feet are coming in close together. She's getting ready for the jerk, mentally preparing herself. Dips, weights on heels, knees come out, doesn't go too far down. Here we go, jumping out, driving out of that dip. Beautiful drive. Still short steps it just a touch, but her chest comes forward under it a little bit more. She still has to receive back foot front because she ends up short stepping it just a touch in order for that bar to stay stable over her. Still beautiful clean and jerk. I especially love the dip and drive of that jerk by Tia-Clair Toomey, 250. Laura Horvath, 250, here we go. Feet on the bar, hands on bar. Still don't love how straight ahead they are. Picks up the barbell. I love though that as she picks up the barbell, the back angle stays the same though, but the knees slack up. Again, you still see that bump. The barbell comes in front of her a little bit, but she's so strong, stands up with it great. A little bit short on that dip and drive. If she bent her knees a little bit more going into that dip and drive, that she would have been able to get more drive out of that barbell and got more height on that barbell. But she does a great job of locking her arms under it and receiving that barbell. Let's watch it slow. Laura Horvath, 250, hands on bar, getting ready to lift the barbell, looking straight ahead, doesn't get tight, but notice as she picks up the barbell, it's smooth, back angle stays the same, weight's coming back on the heels, but here, again, like before, notice all the separation between her and that barbell, knee slacked off right there. And as she's picking up that barbell, notice how far in front of her it is, so her hips have to come under, you see that bounce, and you see a little bit of that lag. When I'm talking about that I'd like to see a little bit more of this shrug high pull, how you can tell is from here she ends up bumping it a little bit. So it's out in front of her, her hips end up scooping under to get closer to the barbell. She ends up bumping it a little bit. You see the shrug and you see that the barbell goes out a little bit more. And the reason you can tell there isn't much of a continuation of the pull is that it floats here. So the arms do bend, the elbows do bend as she gets under, but it's not, you don't see a continuation of this velocity. You don't see this aggression in terms of her forcefully pulling that barbell up. But it's enough at 250 for Laura Horvath. She's so strong. Does a great job on the receive. She's tight on the receive. She doesn't keep pulling on the barbell, but she's tight on the receive, and she's so strong. She stands up that barbell without much of a problem. Stands up with the clean. Here we go. Get ready for the jerk. Gets tight, dips, comes forward just a touch on the foot, knees come in very slightly, just a touch in front of her in combination with the short step. She's driving her chest forward so she remains over the barbell, so the barbell is straight up over her instead of being in front of her. And she also does a really good job of positioning her feet so that her hips are square relative to the barbell. I'll talk about what that means in a minute, but here she receives front foot, back foot. Nicely done, Laura Horvath. In terms of the foot positioning for the jerk receive and helping keep your hips square to the barbell, what do I mean? This is what I mean. So as athletes go for the dip and drive for the jerk, let's say your front foot lands here, but if your back foot lands like this, especially with the heel down, notice what happens to my hips. They square off this way, away from camera, obviously. So dip and drive, front foot goes here, back foot goes here, especially if it's straight. Notice my hips tend to want to open up this way. But if I cock this front foot forward and this back foot, especially with the toes up, in, notice that really squares me up to the barbell. So she does a really great job of doing that. I also want to watch the tempo of the clean pull. We've talked about this before, so I want you to notice the acceleration or the tempo of the pull. So she's getting set, she's getting ready. The pull is typically slow past the knees, but here there isn't much acceleration past that in terms of building acceleration and momentum into that pull. It's slow and then you get this bump. I'm not sure if that's because the barbell's so in front of her and she ends up just getting to the barbell, meeting it and popping it forward, but that's something I would like to see a little bit more in combination with keeping the barbell closer, is generating more momentum into the barbell once she passes the knees. Great job, Laura Horvath, 250. Amanda Barnhart, 250. Picks up the barbell, doesn't get tight, does a great job keeping it close though, and does a better job than Laura Horvath in terms of building momentum on the barbell. Not as much as I'd like, but she is doing it. Here we go, get ready for the jerk. Does better in terms of the dip and drive, but it's still forward of her, and as you can see as before, it's almost not wanting to push the body down under a preference to press out the barbell and receive back foot first. Let's watch that slow. Amanda Barnhart, 250. Feet under the bar, hands on bar, look straight ahead, doesn't get tight as she picks up the barbell, goes to pick up the barbell, it does jolt her a little bit. You see the butt come up just a touch, weight comes forward on the foot just a touch, picks up the barbell, you see the knees start to slack and the butt come up a little bit faster than her upper back. So the butt's coming up first. It's very small, but it's there. Here we go. Right there at above the knee, you see the knees slack off just a touch, but she does a great job of maintaining this big chest tight back and the arm straight. And as the barbell comes up, her hips come forward just a touch, but she does a great job of leaning back into this jump and this extension high pull. Notice the aggressive shrug. Notice she keeps pulling on that bar, receives this bar, 250, way above power position. Meets the barbell, is strong on the receive, catches the bounce, stands up with it. Beautiful. I feel like there's a preference on the right leg though, because it seems like she pushes off on the right leg a little bit more on the stand up for the clean than the left. It also looks like the left is slightly in front, which is also typical if you favor one leg in terms of strength. So let's see what the jerk looks like. Doesn't adjust her feet. She's getting set. Here we go. Weight comes forward on the dip, extends, not a huge drive, not as powerful as it could be. Again, because it came forward, you see the barbell go forward and her have to receive, again, back foot front in order to keep the system balanced or her body under the barbell. Good clean and jerk by Amanda Barnhart. She's just so massively strong. There's just like a little couple of things to make it easier for her, even easier than it already is. She's power cleaning 250, or she could have. She received it way before power position. Just a couple of things in terms of keeping the barbell a little bit closer to her and also getting a little bit more tempo on the barbell, a little bit more speed differentiation if possible at this weight, which considering that she received it at way above power, I think she's capable of in terms of strength. And then for the dip itself, I'd like to bring the feet a little bit more narrow so she has more power in her legs to be able to dip and drive, and also with the dip being more on the heel and mid-foot as she dips and then is able to push off into that to get more drive into the barbell. Also, I think she cuts the dip a little bit shallow. Another reason why I don't think she's able to get as much power going into it, and that should help her be able to push the barbell straight up over her as opposed to in front of her and receive it a little easier instead of having to press it out. Overall though, a great job, Amanda Barnhart, 250. Thanks for watching this part of my reaction to the 2020 Rogue Invitational Women's Clean and Jerk event. If you'd like the video, please like and subscribe below. For any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to work with me to improve your Olympic lifting, check me out at www.wulift.com. We got more of this coming for you soon. Thanks guys, have a great day.